Associates. Coach, let's just start off, obviously, with the frustrations of the first half, just in preparation of the game. And how surprising was that of a start for you in terms of preparation of the game?
Obviously very surprising.
Yeah.
But, I've coached long enough to know not ask the question why. Because I've seen teams that look like they're super ready, and for whatever reason they're not. And I've seen teams that I've been so concerned about their preparation, and they look great. And so, I just go back to, not, our players legitimately not asking why, but what. What can I do? We had too many guys hiding in the first half. That was one of the big things we talked about, was that we can't have people hiding. And for whatever reason we do. And so, as a coach, I'm trying to figure that out and get guys to play with courage. But we're so discouraged now that we have guys hiding, and that's the battle that we're fighting, and we'll get it figured out. I know we're going to get it turned. I believe that. There's a difference between knowing and believing. You and I talked about that, and I believe we're going to get it turned. And I'm not really interested in what anybody else thinks. But I love these guys. They're hurting. I don't feel sorry for them. I'm sorry that they're going through some of this, because it's very painful for them. And people say, well, then change it. Anybody that says that's not been through something like this, where they just don't feel very good about themselves. And, so we've got to be able to show them where they had great effort, and whether they were successful or not with the effort, that they should feel good about that. And, where they didn't have good effort and they could have been successful, but they shouldn't feel good about that. Those are the things we've got to hold them to, the standard of effort and execution is what we're looking for. And so it's a struggle right now. Like, we're not very good offensively. It's just layups and but obviously, like, you love the effort the guys gave in the second half. But you go, where's that in the first half? And again, just to go, why did that happen? I don't know. We have continually worked and tried to figure out, what will flip the guys and those kind of things. And so that just has to be, as a coaching staff, what we're looking at. But, we certainly have a challenge in front of us in terms of getting our guys confident. And how do you do that? Which comes first? Well, you've got to play well to have confidence, in my opinion. You can't just show up and just have confidence. And they're beat down. They are beat down. And, we'll go into Evansville on Sunday, and Evansville will look at us like, here's our chance to get well. And so, like, between now and then, we've got to get with our guys and help them work through that. I'm not interested, again, I just said before, I'm not interested in feeling sorry for myself or feeling sorry for the play. No, that doesn't do anybody any good. It hurts me to look at these guys and see the pain in their eyes. I've been through this before, not very many times in my career, but I have been through it. And I've learned from it, and I'm just trying to learn from it now. I really am. I'm trying to learn the lessons that God has for me in this dry. Well, it's a dry season. There isn't any question about it, and so, it's going to turn. I know it is, and it's going to turn this year. I believe that, and I don't want to just blow smoke at people and say that. I believe that, and I believe that about this team. I would say one of the things is playing, with a freshman point guard. We talked about those last 4 minutes. We took a bad shot when the game was tight, all the things we would talk about, and this is what, it's even written up on the board, the last 4 minutes, what are we looking for? Great shots, no turnovers, no bad fouls, and so we take a tough shot, and that's just, like, you can't just control all that, and those are the things you have to learn from, and then we go down and we have a bad foul, and that was really the chance for us probably to get back in the game at that moment, because they were in the double bonus, and all we had to do was really go after them and get to the free throw line. Now, we did that late, but then it was too late. Again, we just got to go back and keep learning. That's all there is to it. And we've really got to we've got to do a good job of helping these guys. I don't know how else to say it, but not allow them to feel sorry for themselves.
Coach, this game was really decided the middle point of that first half with McNair and Barnes. Got themselves going. Two guys coming in this game, averaged less than 9 points combined. What adjustment what led to their 23 points in that first half, and what adjustments you guys make on them because they got 2 in the second half?
Well, we talked about McNair. I mean, McNair made 2 threes coming into this game. He was 2 for 7. He only attempted, but what happened was his first one was just a complete bust on our part, and he's just standing wide open in the corner there in front of our bench. After a score, we scored, and he's just standing there wide open. He shot it, and it wasn't even like that. It looked to me like it wasn't even high enough to go through, and it went through. And you know how it is, yep. Rod. I mean, Rodney did. Even an average player, when he sees a ball go in, starts to feel a little bit better about himself, and that's why I never want guys on the free throw line. I don't want them to see the ball go in. But he did, and then he didn't even have to look the rim for some reason, and so he got it going, and most of them were just defensive busts. Like we were a mess defensively in the first half. We really were, and I told the guys at halftime, like, they're shooting 50% from the floor, 50 from 3. Doesn't matter what we do offensively, and we were, this is as bad offensively as I've had a team. It won't matter how good we are offensively. If we don't do a better job in the second half defensively, you will not get back in this game. And we did. The kids played hard. They were much better in that respect. But, some of it's obviously too little, too late.
You knew they were going to be physical, and they didn't disappoint you, man. You didn't overblow that when you were talking to the guys this morning.
No, they beat us up in the first half.
How much did their defense affect your offense?
Well, you saw in the second half we really got active. We had so much better pace to our offense. They had to switch their defenses in the second half because we were chewing them up. Because we started to play with some urgency, and it's like, how do we get that to start the game? Because to run our very first play of the game, it looked like we were playing 5-on-0, and it was just there was just no pace to it, no purpose to it, and how do I explain that? I can't. I wish I could. I wish I could go, that's why. But I know after coaching this many years, sometimes you just can't explain those things.
Coach, before we let you go, I know it's kind of a day-by-day process when you're playing these many games and getting guys back. Where you feel Calron and Isaiah are both going to know being with.
I honestly have no idea. I really don't. And so, I don't spend much time asking Riley about it. The guys that we have available are the guys that I'm coaching, and I really don't know. I just see. I see him move around, and my anticipation is that it's going to be a while. So, the way I look at it is it's getting other people ready as we get into later in the season. We have guys that are getting more minutes that are going to play like starters. That a kid like Jalen who's gaining a bunch of confidence and learning on the run and getting a lot of minutes. This is going to help us down the road.
Coach, appreciate the time. Thank
you.
you.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay.